I'm 68 years old, and I need to tell you something that nobody wants to admit. I wasted 40 years of my life, not because I was lazy, not because I failed, but because I was terrified of something that never even happened. And if you're watching this right now, there's a very good chance you're making the exact same mistake I did. My name is Michael. I was a high school English teacher for 37 years. Decent salary, good benefits, summers off. On paper, I had a stable, respectable life. But here's what nobody knew. When I was 23 years old, fresh out of college, I had a dream. I wanted to write novels, real novels, the kind that made people feel something, the kind that lasted. I had a manuscript, 400 pages, a story about a man who loses everything and has to rebuild his life from scratch. I worked on it for 2 years, every night after my shifts at the campus bookstore. And then I graduated and reality hit. My father sat me down at the kitchen table. He had this look on his face, half concern, half disappointment. He said, "Michael, you need a real job. You can't pay rent with stories." So I applied for teaching positions. I told myself it was temporary, just until I saved enough money, just until I had more time. I got hired at Jefferson High School in September of 1979. I never sent that manuscript to a single publisher. Fast forward to May 14th, 2019. I'm 62 years old. I'm in my classroom after school grading essays. It's a Friday afternoon. The building is empty except for the janitor down the hall. And then I feel it, this crushing pressure in my chest, like someone sitting on my ribcage. My left arm goes numb. I try to stand up, but my legs won't work. I collapse. The janitor, Carlos, finds me 10 minutes later, calls 911. I'm on a stretcher, oxygen mask on my face, staring at the fluorescent lights in the ambulance. And all I can think is, I never finished the book. Not, I hope I survive. Not, I need to call my wife. My first thought was about a dream I gave up 40 years ago. The doctors told me later I had a widowmaker heart attack. 95% blockage in my main artery. They said if Carlos hadn't found me when he did, I'd have been dead in 20 minutes. 20 minutes. That's how close I came to dying, with my biggest regret carved into my chest. I spent 3 days in the ICU, and during those 3 days, I did something I hadn't done in decades. I asked myself, what was I so afraid of? Rejection? Failure? Looking stupid? I realized something horrifying. I had spent 40 years teaching kids to follow their dreams and take risks and believe in themselves. I had given that speech at graduation ceremonies. I had written it in recommendation letters, and I never once followed my own advice. I was a hypocrite. Worse than that, I was a coward. I had let fear make every single decision for me since I was 23 years old. Fear chose my career. Fear chose my routine. Fear made me play it safe for 4 decades. And you know what the cruelest part is? The thing I was afraid of, failing as a writer, already happened. Because not trying is failing. I failed by default. I failed in the safest, quietest, most invisible way possible. Let me tell you what 40 years of fear looks like. 1987. My wife, Linda, gets a job offer in Seattle. Better pay, better schools for our daughter. She asks if we should move. I say no. I'm tenured. It's risky. We stay. She never says it, but I know she resents me for it. 1995. A small independent publisher in Chicago is looking for new voices. My colleague shows me the ad. "You should submit something," she says. I laugh it off. "I don't have time," I say. I had time. I watch TV 4 hours a night. 2003. My daughter Emma is 17. She tells me she wants to study art instead of pre-med. She's terrified to tell me because she thinks I'll be disappointed. And I say, God, I still hate myself for this. I say, art doesn't pay the bill, sweetheart. You need something stable. I crushed her dream because I crushed my own first. 2011. I'm at a dinner party. Someone asks what I would do if money wasn't an issue. Everyone's laughing, sharing these wild fantasies. And when it's my turn, I say, I'd probably just keep teaching. I couldn't even admit my dream out loud anymore. I had buried it so deep, I convinced myself it never existed. So here's what I did after that heart attack. I retired. Took early retirement at 62. Everyone thought I was crazy. "You're leaving money on the table," they said. I didn't care. I went home, and I pulled out that old manuscript from 1979. It was in a box in the garage, under Christmas decorations and old tax returns. The pages were yellow, the typewriter ink was faded, but the story was still there, and I rewrote it. Every single day for 2 years, I rewrote that book. Not because I thought it would get published, not because I thought I'd make money, but because I needed to prove to myself that I could finish something I started. In 2021, at 64 years old, I self-published my first novel on Amazon. It sold 73 copies in the first year. 73. My daughter bought 10 of them to give as Christmas gifts. And you know what? It's the proudest accomplishment of my entire life. Not my tenure, not my Teacher of the Year award in 1998, not my pension, those 73 copies, because they're proof that I finally stopped being afraid. Now I need to be honest with you, I can't get those 40 years back. I can't undo the opportunities I missed. I can't rewrite the conversations I had with my daughter. I can't go back and submit that manuscript to publishers in 1985 when I still had time to build a real career as a writer. I'm 68 now. I've written 3 books. I have maybe 15 or 20 good years left, if I'm lucky. That's it. And that's the part that haunts me every single day. Not that I wasted 40 years, but that I can't give them to my younger self. I can't go back and shake 23-year-old Michael and say, send the damn manuscript, get rejected, try again, fail 100 times. It's better than not trying at all. But here's what I can do. I can tell you, if you're watching this right now, and there's something you've been putting off, something you've been too afraid to try, I need you to listen to me. You think you have time, you don't. I thought I had time in 1979, then it was 1985, then 1995, then 2003, and then I was 62 years old on a stretcher, staring at the ceiling, realizing I had wasted half my life. What are you afraid of? Rejection. You'll survive it. Failure. You'll learn from it. Looking stupid? Nobody's watching as closely as you think. Here's what you won't survive. Regret. That feeling at 65, 70, 80 years old, lying in bed at night, thinking, I wonder what would have happened if I had just tried. That will eat you alive. So here's what I want you to do. Right now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you have more time. Right now. Take out your phone, open your notes app, and write down one thing, just one thing, that you've been too afraid to do. Maybe it's starting that business. Maybe it's writing that book. Maybe it's having that difficult conversation. Maybe it's going back to school. Maybe it's leaving the job you hate. Write it down. And then do one small thing today that moves you toward it. Send one email, make one phone call, write one page, take one step. Because I promise you the pain of trying and failing is temporary. But the pain of never trying at all, that lasts forever. I'm 68 years old. I wasted 40 years being afraid, but I've spent the last 6 years being brave. And those 6 years have been worth more than the previous 40 combined. Don't wait for a heart attack to wake you up. Don't wait until it's almost too late. Start today, because the only thing scarier than trying and failing is never knowing what you were capable of. My name is Michael, and I'm not wasting another day. What's the one thing you've been afraid to try? Tell me in the comments. Let's hold each other accountable.